Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yeah, y'all drop a vortex in the chat if I can be heard. It's your little brother, Malaki Macabee, Megaton, light bomb, 1,000,000 tons of light. Just what it is, you understand? All praises to the ever-present creator, that always was, is, and ever shall be. The mighty and great spirit, the mighty and great I am, whose magnitude is incomprehensible and whose presence is everywhere. Or everywhere. Number love and light to the family, man. You know what I mean? Love and light to my foes. Whether you be friend or foe. You know what I mean? Hit that like button, subscribe button, you know, all that good stuff. Try to get us spinning in that algorithm, a little taste. What's the word, fam? I see y'all in the building. All right, y'all climbing on in her. Y'all climbing on in her. Yes, sir. All right, let me go ahead and spin this real quick for y'all. Oh, wait. Shout out to the CGG, man. Out to the CGG. Nothing but love. Get it out the way right there.
Jehovah is as near this day as in the time of the ancients. Put yourself in order, becoming one with him. And no book is so easily read as his created universe. Inspiration comes less by books than by what Jehovah wrote. His worlds read him and his works. Frame your speech and your thoughts for him. He will answer you in your own behavior and in the happiness of your soul. Great wisdom cannot be attained in a day, nor purity and strength to overcome temptation, till the growth is from the foundation. The fool will say, the sacred books are no more than man of his own knowledge could write. Yet he has not wisely imitated the power of the words of your God. Let him do this well, and behold, he will also declare my words are from me. Yes, he will recognize them wherever found. It is the will and wish of your God that all men become constitutionally capable of receiving and comprehending the highest life, and that they shall no longer depend upon any priest, church, oracle, holy book, or upon consulting the spirits, and that their behavior may make the earth a place of peace, with long life to all people, for the glory of Jehovah. To his Etherian gods and goddesses, Jehovah said, as you have founded arcs of light in my Etherian heavens, to determine the travel of my corporeal worlds, so shall my God of the earth inspire mortals to build lighthouses for man's ships that travel on the oceans, and those who travel in the ships. And those on the land shall know when a ship nears the port, even as you see my traveling earth approaching the place of Cosmo. For this shall be an illustration to mortals, that I have appointed cycles of times and dawns of times, with gods and goddesses to superintend my creations in tenderness and love, lest by chance man becomes despondent, saying, alas, Jehovah did not provide in wisdom commensurate with the magnificence of his creations. Behold, the time draws near when the nations of the earth shall course around the whole earth in ships, crossing the seas and oceans to all the places I created.
Whoa, boy, that deal go hard. That deal go hard. All praises to the creator, the God maker, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. I see y'all in the building. I see y'all in the building. Sister Sharice is in the building. What's the word? Loving light to everybody. Loving light to everybody. Nothing but love. I got my brother in the building, Soul Bender, 888. Loving light, Aki. Loving light, Aki. We got Trinidad and Tobago in the crib, in the house. Keon Cooper, Sister Tabitha. What's the word? Love, light, and all that good stuff in between, family. One of the orders of Yah's in the building. Shalom, salute, salute. Love and light. Imam Mahalia is in the building. Ohio and Flow Rider and all that in between. Number love and light to the family, y'all. What's the word? We got Sister Global Purposes in the building. Love and light, my sister. Love, light, balance from the creator, the God maker. Shout out to Ghana Ya. Ghana Ya 80 is in the building, listening, watching from Ghana. That's the word. That's what's up, bro. Number love. All right. Love, light, and all that good stuff in between. We got Running with Magic in the building. Is that song Artificial Intelligence? Yeah. That deal go hard. Yep. I'm already here. My brother Johnny James is in the building. What's the word out? What's the word? Yeah. Good stuff, man. Love and light to the fam. We got our brother Sila Shalom is in the building. Love and light to my brethren. You know what I mean? Love and light. Y'all go like, subscribe, and share his channel too. He got, it's a plethora. How you say it? Plethora. A plethora of information. Light bomb after light bomb over that way. Y'all go subscribe to our brother, man. Go to his playlist and look, get some understanding. Yeah. It's almost 2026. You ain't got no time to be out here, you know what I mean, with no understanding. I heard bumping your head against a brick wall. No, we're not doing this. Nah. Shout out to my brother Azriel Maccabees. Ben Yahoo is in the building. What's the word, my brethren? Shalom. Love and light to you, all right? Love and light to you. All right, yeah. So y'all already know what it is. Y'all see the title, right? Who has a battery in your back? Who has a battery in your back? Ooh-wee. The creator versus the deities. Having conversation with folks. It's just, my normal, my usual, while I'm beating my feet, moving in, moving out. Just keep things moving. You know how it is. You be having conversations with people. You never know what somebody's going through up top. You know what I mean? So, I get a lot of, well, how do you know if, what you listening to is false or real? Or what if you, how do you know if what you read ain't right? Or, how do you, man, a lot of people have fallen into the trap of idol worship, but the idol is actually the Bible. The deity is the Bible. For those that's, quoted and devoted, should I say. It's the Bible. That's what has people bound. They for the longest, it's only been that and only that. So, all right, cool. We'll swim over in Bible too, and just to show our people, look, when you start comparing scripture with scripture, you dig, and on any topic you pull up, it's against itself. It conflicts. You feel me? So you can show people that clearly, bang, look right here, bang. Same story. One says this, the other says this. How do we reconcile it? Or just call it for what it is. Yeah, that's a contradiction. That's conflicting. You dig? But when you get when you start being critical about, examining whatever it is you read, meaning when I say critical, you investigate. You ain't just taking things at face value or believe in something just because it's written down. Then you critically examine it. You know what I mean? See, the apologists will try to make an apple and orange. A critic gonna be like, nah, that's an apple and that's an orange. They're not the same thing. You're not about to do that. You feel me? So it's a fear of losing the deity, but the deity, y'all, is the Bible. People worship the Bible. That's the deity. That's what they worship. So when you start showing them in the Bible, you dig that it's conflicting against itself, that it's written down from prophet to prophet, from Old to New Testament. You know what I mean? One or two things, you at a crossroad. One or two things occur. If you try to reconcile all these differences that are evident, that you can clearly read and see is different, or you're gonna call a spade, meaning, nah, that's a contradiction. It's conflicting. It's not the same thing. One is an apologetic, somebody who's gonna try to sell you a bill of goods and tell you an apple is an orange, and others will critic that it's gonna be real with you and say, no, that's an apple and that's an orange. They're not the same thing. You know what I mean? You dig? So I want to tap in right here real quick, get some understanding, right? Now watch this. Check this out. Love, light, protection, and all that good stuff for our brothers and sisters worldwide, man. All the creators children. You know what I mean? Dark world right now, man. Going through a lot of darkness. You feel me? But the sons and daughters of the Creator will prevail in the end, man. Believe that. In the end, y'all gonna be over this way. All right? Let's get into this right here.
Peace, peace. This your host, Selah Shalom, and this is the Cosmon Teachings and the Words of Jehovah and His Angel Ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible Owaspi. And the topic of discussion today is called Luamong falsely styles himself Christ and the origin of Christianity. Now, many people believe that Christianity was established by the life of Yeshua, but what Yeshua did was restore the ancient order of Moses among the Israelites that followed him. Not all Israelites believed in Yeshua. Yeshua never practiced a Father, Son, Holy Ghost doctrine. All these were pagan customs. But here I will reveal the truth behind this religion, Christianity, and its founder. People try to say the term Messiah and Christ are the same, but here I will show there's a difference. The word anointed is attributed to the term Messiah. But when we trace the Hebrew root word for Mashiach, it is Mashach, which is a primitive root to rub with oil, or one who is smeared with oil. This is the root word for Messiah, to be smeared with oil. So when we refer to anointed, we are referring to one who is smeared with oil. Now the term Christ, which is incorrectly used to refer to Messiah, is Greek in its origin and not Hebrew. And the term Christ was in use before Yeshua. The term Christ comes from the Chi and the Rho in the Greek alphabet. In Greek, the Chi is the letter X and the Rho is the letter P, which forms together the Chi Rho, which is where Christianity got their cross from. These two Greek letters, the X and the P, which the X also represents a crossbone. Now, some coins of Ptolemy during the 2nd century BC were marked with the Chi and the Rho, showing you proof of his existence before the Messiah. The combined letters Chi and the Rho stands for Kreston, meaning good. So before the Messiah, that term had a significant meaning referring to good, and it also had other meanings as well. And it is from this Chi and Rho that the term Christ stems from, before it became known to mean anointed, which came later. The word Christos is found used from the 5th century BC by Herodias. Now with that, it proves that the term Chi Rho was in use before and during the 1st century. So it is this term Christ that Luamong, the false Trinity God, used for himself, as I will explain later. And 300 years before Constantine established Christianity as a state religion, you had the Piso-Roman family in the 1st century, who was responsible for building the foundation of Christianity and the New Testament, which in return Constantine used to compile his version. So Yeshua never came with the New Testament, but a reestablishment of an old ancient order of Moses, as I described in the story of Yeshua. Now, God's book of Esther, chapter 45, verse 1 through 20, it states, verse 1, the Lord said, now, behold, Luamong stood no longer upon the practice of righteousness, but upon might. Verse 2, neither considered he more the resurrection of mortals or angels. Verse 3, the craft and wisdom of Baal baffled Luamong in both his heavenly battles and his battles for mortals. Verse 4, behold, the whole of the countries of Egypt, Persia, Hellas, and Europe were in war, and the heavens of these countries were also in war, with hundreds of hells within them. And this time is during the 1st century. Verse 5, Luamong fought no longer for the Trinity nor the Holy Ghost, but to save his heavenly kingdom, lest he be captured and cast in hell. Verse 6, and even more desperately was Baal situated against him. Verse 7, in the meantime, the other two truants began to war against each other in their heavenly kingdoms, contending for boundaries and subjects. And they're referring to the false Buddha and Brahma. Verse 8, thought Elias Gabriel sent the following message to Luamung, to wit, greeting to thee, though most high truant, in the name of the Holy Ghost. Verse 9, wherein I am embarrassed, I pray thee, give me lenience. My suit is not without due deliberation, and through prayers to the Holy Ghost. Long have I fought thy battles, and I have gained great power and authority in many kingdoms in heaven and on earth. Now here you have Thought, alias Gabriel, who is the chief angel establishing Luamung on earth. Here Thought goes through numerous gods that do not heed the Trinity God's doctrine on earth. Verse 10, but behold, I labor against gods who have the advantage of me, the Chinese rebel gods and the Indian rebel gods that fled from the truant kingdoms in the east have taken upon themselves names popular with mortals. Witness these names. And here is a rundown of all the names these gods that fled the eastern kingdoms and settled over Rome and Europe. These are the names that they took for themselves. Nestor, Elias, Pueth, Neptune, Elias, Poseidon, Oleus, Elias, Pendra, Priam, alias Hogath, Phobos, alias Wanwakax, alias Apollo, Pals, alias Shingansitha, Pleiades, alias Peleus, Saturn, alias Kronos, Thalia, alias Musa, Festor, alias Suko, alias Byrith, alias Kalkas, Thetis, alias Arama, alias Ma, alias Mara, alias Achilia, alias Argos, Venus, alias Sienaut, alias Vishnu, alias Mara, alias Thought, alias Theo, Vulcan, alias Anawaha, alias R, alias Egna, alias Hephaestion, Kalanisi, alias Vrita, Hecla, alias Ja, alias Tyronia, alias Neleus, Nemetris, alias Itra, alias Promethea, alias Eri, alias Mithra, Obsendes, alias Melitus, alias Brahma, alias Ishaka, alias Davitat, alias Sakaya, alias Morototha, Ferna, alias Holasa, alias Io, alias Kritit, alias Thamuz, Spio, alias Pallades, alias Hecla, alias Vulcan, Thor, alias Padua, alias Hermes, alias Belis, Belus, alias Hieroth, alias Yosamus, Theo, alias Thor, alias Neptune, alias Orion, alias Aph, alias Thulas, Cronus, alias Vishnu, alias Ahambri, alias Isna, alias Attis, alias Etus. Verse 11, Thought, alias Gabriel, continued, and yet these are not all, for these gods have no fear of the Holy Ghost, and they chose any name that will be flattering to mortals, and the musicians and priests and such others as have power to hear the voices of spirits are led to believe that they hear the very gods whose names are given. The majority of these gods were from the district of Baal, located in Europe. This would be your Greek gods and the pagan customs before Christianity. Verse 12, this then is my misfortune, though most holy God of the truant. I am commanded to give but one name, even the Holy Ghost, or the Father, to mortals. Or whether my angel hosts speak to the oracles or to persons capable of hearing spirits and say to them, fight ye for the Holy Ghost, or fight ye for the creative elements, mortals heed us not. Or they are irreverently mocking us, saying, what care we for a God that is but a ghost, a shadow, a creative element? Give us gods that talk, and of themselves. We want no angels from the Holy Ghost. Bring your gods, and let the oracles tell us what they say. Verse 13. Luamung then sent messengers and a suitable escort to Jerusalem on the earth, where thought alias Gabriel was stationed at the time, with an angel host of warriors commanding his presence before his holy council in Hepsendai, Luamung's heavenly city and kingdom. Verse 14. Now, after thought alias Gabriel went hither, and they held a council of many days, a disturbance arose in the council, in consequence of the heat of the debate. Verse 15. For the gods of the council, for the most part, said, what better are we than the Jehovians? What greater power have we than the Jehovians? Who can answer the philosophies of thought, alias Gabriel? It is a truth. Mortals have never been satisfied with an angel from the gods. They want the God himself. Verse 16. Was not this forever the weakness of the Jehovians? Such angels could give no name that mortals knew, except they falsely assume a name. Hence their weakness compared to such an angel, such unscrupulously assumed to be gods. Verse 17. We all know these things before our holy confederacy was formed. Yeah, one of the chief reasons for forming a confederacy in heaven was that we might more effectively overcome the power of evil spirits over mortals. Verse 18. In that day we said, the three persons, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost, would enable us to appear in person and with authority unto mortals. Verse 19. Verse 19. Behold, it hath now come to pass, mortals desire a more definite God, one known unto them. We cannot truthfully take the name of any God thought alias Gabriel hath named, nor of any other God worshipped by mortals. Verse 20. Luamung then drove hence from the palace his holy council, that he might have an opportunity to reason with himself as to what he should do. So here you can see the Trinity ideas is fading, and the people want the one God, which each of the Trinity gods claim to be. Now they're being confronted with their own folly. Now, chapter 46, verse 1 through 9, it states, Satan enters the holy council of Hepsendai and speaketh unto Luamung the truant. Verse 1. Hear me, O thou most upright of gods. Mine is a tale of pity and of horrors for thy people. Verse 2. Behold, thy one-time brother Truan have had great advantage of thee from the start. Verse 3. They had more populous kingdoms and subjects of higher grades. Verse 4. Nevertheless, wherein they have prospered, thou shalt be wise. Verse 5. They also found it necessary to have a name that mortals could call on to. Verse 6. And they took upon themselves the names Brahma and Buddha, both which signifies knowledge, no more no less. Verse 7. This hath satisfied mortals. Verse 8. Now thou shalt choose the name Christ, which is the Ahamic word for knowledge also. Verse 9. In this, then, thou shalt have truth on thy side in heaven before thy holy council, and on earth thou shalt have a personal embodiment. So here Satan inspires Luamung to style himself the Christ in heaven, and to have a moral representative on earth, which will be Constantine, as shown in time to come. And the earliest sign of the Christ is the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P. Now, chapter 47, verse 1 through 38, it states, Luamung falsely announced himself the Christ. Verse 1, the Lord said, Behold, it came to pass as had been foretold by God. The truants, the Trinity, will all become false gods, because they have denied the Almighty. Verse 2, God said, there is but one who is all knowledge. Whatsoever angel or God announcing himself to be all knowledge is false in the presence of Jehovah, the Creator. Verse 3, nevertheless, Luamung had it proclaimed in heaven and earth that he was the Christ, which is the Ahamic expression for all knowledge. Verse 4, the Lord said, now, therefore, Luamung was from this time forth a false god in heaven and on earth. So here Luamung is known as Christ from that time forward in heaven and eventually later on earth. Now here's where Christianity's origin begins on earth. Verse 5, And Luamung commanded Thoth, alias Gabriel, his angel warrior in command of his earthly dominions, to raise up tribes of warriors amongst mortals. Verse 6. And by the inspiration of said Thoth, alias Gabriel, these warriors were induced to call themselves Christians. So here you can see that Christianity was inspired by Luamung, now falsely styled Christ, now established on earth through Thoth, alias Gabriel, his warrior angel, and this has nothing to do with Yahshua's doctrine. According to the King James Bible, the Christians were first called Christians in Antioch, which is in Syria, and Syria was under the governmentship of Rome at that time, and would have been aware of the term Christ, or the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P, being that they were Greeks. Verse 7, God said, that man may know this is true, behold, the followers of Jehovah are not warriors, nor have they ever been. Verse 8, Jehovah said, this mark put I upon man from the time of Cain to this present day, that whoso raises his hand against his brother raises his hand against me also. And this mark shall distinguish my servants to the end of the world. Behold, I alone am all knowledge. So here Jehovah declares his chosen were never warriors. So the idea that the chosen are warriors and shed blood for their God is a false doctrine. The chosen never shedded blood nor bared arms to go into warfare. When those things occurred, the chosen were either captive, slain, or fled. That was the actions of the chosen during those times of warfare. Verse 9, now it came to pass that from this time forth great success attended the wars of Luamung for the glory of his heavenly kingdom. Verse 10, and for the space of 300 years Luamung gradually gained on Baal and his alliance, both on earth and in heaven. And this 300 years is from the 1st century to the 3rd century. And the false Christ gained dominion in the territories of Baal, which is Rome. It is between this time that Christianity is in the making, all being the works of the Roman Empire. The Hebrews had nothing to do with the establishment of Christianity, other than the Hebrew text being used as the Old Testament. But the New Testament is the work of the Roman Piso family and later Constantine and the Nicene Creed, which time period the Roman Piso family was during the 1st century and Constantine was during the 3rd century. Verse 11, and Luamung captured and cast out of his dominion more than 700 false gods and false lords. Verse 12, and he broke up 680 oracle houses and temples used for consulting the spirits who call themselves gods, whose only service was to advise on war, conquest, and destruction. Verse 13, so that even Luamung's falsity to himself, he rendered a great service to Jehovah, against whom he was doing battle. So here Luamung, not knowing, is doing a service by clearing away other false gods, reducing the false god to small numbers. Verse 14, for 300 years more, Luamung, with upward of 6,000 million angel warriors, pursued war in heaven and on earth. And he had captured mostly all the earthly strongholds of other false gods. But all, however, still maintained himself in Rome and as God of the Roman Empire, but under many names. So here you have Baal being the god of Rome, attributed with different names. And this is the same Baal of ancient Canaan going back to 2000 BC in the 23rd arc cycle, and still ruling in the 3rd century AD of the 24th arc cycle. This is a reign of over 2,000 years that this false god Baal been ruling. Verse 15, God, son of Jehovah, said, now, behold, even Luamung, the false god, bewailed the wars, and he also bewailed his own doctrine. Verse 16, Luamung cried out in his despair, saying, to whom shall I pray, O thou Holy Ghost, though shadow, though nothing, though void? Verse 17, shall I say, although all nothing, though inconceivable, though unknowable, though all hidden? Verse 18, or shall I say, O thou nature, though God of nature, though senseless, though scattered? Verse 19, though that hearest not, though that knowest not, though that seest not. Verse 20, though essence, though fountain, that is dumb, though accident, though shapeless. Verse 21, though imperson, though shortness in all, that beguileth us to come hither to find thee, or to go hither to find thee. Verse 22, and find of a truth that we find thee not. Yeah, to understand that thou art the waste and desolate of all that is. Verse 23, and as for thy father, which we three build up, is he not dead? A divided kingdom with three estrayed sons, and every one for himself. Verse 24, O thou Brahma, thou hast a peaceful division, O thou Buddha, a place of great profit. Verse 25, but I, your equal, with an unprofitable division of these western heavens. Mine are warriors in heaven and on earth. Yours, peace and profit. How can I embellish Hepsendai, my heavenly seat, and make it a palace of grandeur like unto yours? Verse 26, behold, my thousands of millions of angels are needed for warriors. How have I time to embellish my throne and my heavenly city? No wonder ye twine pointed the finger of mockery at me for the poverty of my heavenly kingdom. Verse 27, have I not been fighting battles with Satan all these hundreds and hundreds of years? Did I not find heaven, even from the first, a place of war? Verse 28, shall these things continue forever? Who shall I require of? Have I not declared I am one with the Father and one with the Holy Ghost? So now he is being confronted with his own falsehood and doctrine. Verse 29, yeah, then shall I not look to myself, and is this not the sum of all? Everyone for himself? Was not myself a self from the first, and continue a self for itself forever? So here you can see that Luamung is confounded with his own false doctrine. Now here is the doctrine of the false Christ that will be known amongst Christians. Verse 30, henceforth I go not down to send peace on earth. I go not to send peace but a sword. Verse 31, I go to set man at reverence against his brother and father, and mother against her sister and mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 32, I will make the foes of a man they of his own household. Verse 33, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So here you can see these terms found in the Bible, the King James Bible, are the quotes from this false Trinity God Luamung, now styled Christ, not to be confused with something that Yahshua would say. Verse 34, and he that will not take up swords and proclaim me is not worthy of me. As I read earlier, Jehovah declared that his people are not warriors. Verse 35, my sign shall be a sword, a skull, and a crossbone, and a bull. Again, this is referring to the Chi, the Greek letter X, the crossbone, and the Rho, the Greek letter P, which is also a symbol of a sword pointing through the crossbone forming the Christ. Verse 36, my edict shall be bulls. By these shall my enemies be destroyed. This means that his laws will be enforced. Accept the Christ or perish by the sword. Verse 37, before me shall every knee bow down, and every tongue confess me, Lord of all. And this is the origin of the early Christian doctrine. Verse 38, behold, I will give them a book and a guide, whereby they shall know me. In blood will I seal them to the end of the world. And this book, Luamung the false Christ, is referring to is the New Testament. Being that the Old Testament existed already from the time of Ezra, people believing that the New Testament is the work of Yahshua and his disciples is going to be soon discovered that it wasn't, but the work of the Roman Piso family of the first century. And I will touch on that in other vids to come. Now, chapter 48, verse 1 through 10. Here is the wars of the Christians where they were slaughtered in great number. Verse 1, the Lord said, while its Luamung the false god was yet bewailing, behold, thought, Gabriel, his chief warrior god, came upon him, saying, verse 2, Alice, O master, thy followers have no king or queen on earth to protect them. Verse 3, thy mortal Christian warriors who drew the sword to establish thee have been slaughtered in Cardelia, Cyprus, Atina, Thessalonica, Dalmatia, Lasona, Napla, Seleuci, Macedon, Galatia, and Scythia. Verse 4. In Thebes, 6,000 Christian warriors were massacred by the armies of the Emperor Maximus, inspired by Baal. Verse 5. In Okla, the gods Jupiter and Ira inspired King Hotas to slaughter 3,700 Christian soldiers. Verse 6. In Utica, the god Jupiter, with 7,000 angels, caused 300 of thy soldiers to be burned in a lime kiln, and they were soldiers battling for thee. Verse 7. In Damascus, 2,700 of thy warriors were cut to pieces with the sword, and the only charge against them was their fighting for thee. Yeah, their sacred bull was taken from them and roasted alive, and their bloody cross, which thou giveth them as a sign of thy battle cry, was broken and burned, which is the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P again, the Christ. Verse 8. In Crete, 1,800 of thy warriors, who had served thee well in slaughtering pagans, were walled around with fire and roasted alive. Verse 9. On the plains of Agatha, where thy soldiers, 380 of them, were returning with their booty, having done their great service in destroying heathen temples, they were set up by the Gathians, and destroyed, and for no other cause than that they serve thee. These are the early Christian wars, the great massacres, mainly like the 2nd and 3rd century. Verse 10, Luaman cried out, enough, enough, O Thutmose, alias Gabriel. I too will have a mortal emperor. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings and catch you on the next documentary called The Rise of Constantine and the Council of Nicene. Shalom.
You see La over there cooking, you know what I mean? See La Shalom University. Y'all get over there to the playlist. Check out the False Christ playlist, a little taste. You feel me? Great understanding. It's just time for our people to be more critical. People, period. Be more critical with you know, what we calling your salvation. I mean, be more critical and be more practical about it. You know what I mean? You want to take the bull by the horns eventually, ain't you? Stop sharing that little taste. All right? Let's get into some of this. Man. Y'all see the title, Who Has a Battery in Your Back? Who has a battery in your back? Is it the creator or is it some type of deity? Some type of dark deity? Don't worry about it. We're gonna make it make sense. All right, now watch this real quick. Hold on. We coming back there. Zoom in real quick. Man, what we talking about? What you think is a game? What you think we playing? You must think we playing. But this information that we bringing out, y'all. And shout out once again to the CGG, the Creator Gang. Gang is an acronym, GANG, which stands for Gods and Nirvanian Goddesses. So what we're saying in essence is that we are the creators, gods and Nirvanian goddesses, right? Not to be praised or worshiped or any of that. Dig? We're gods and goddesses in training. You feel me? We're just going to examine some of the aspects of the story of Abraham and what's called Oashpe out of the first book of God, chapter 9. You did. Check this out right here. Abraham has actual teachings in what's called Oashpe. It's a book that's highly, very, very controversial. Very controversial because it exposes deities. Everywhere. Yeah. You can point almost to any spiritual system, and it's a deity behind it. Every spiritual system is a deity. It ain't the creator. Feel me? And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of folks, man. They like, nah, so what you saying? And I've been spending my tires in the mud all this time. What I've been doing is worthless. Yes. That's exactly what we're saying. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's time to come on home. It's time to come on home. You know what I mean? You're on a sinking ship. Look what this verse 5 say, though. It says, God said to Abraham, behold, it is an easy matter. Look at it. What's easy? Let me go ahead and highlight this for you. Look what it say right here. It say, God said to Abraham, behold, it is an easy matter to commune with spirits or to talk with spirits. That's easy. Everybody, you know, everybody especially these days, during this age of enlightenment and, you know, knowledge increasing and, you know what I mean, so forth. Everybody claims they spiritual in some way, whether they some type of guru, whether they are tapped into what's called the Holy Spirit, or you know, you got psychics out here and mediums. You got everybody's tapped into the spirit world in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Some folks are big when they come down to like being in the dream state. You understand? Some people are big or real keen at hearing things and warning people. Hey, look, watch out. You know what I mean? Spirit told me that, you know, you watch your surroundings or something like that. Like a lot of our grandmothers was tapped in. You feel me? The way your granny would tell you, like, hey, watch that thing. Like, what is you doing? Who was that? You know what I mean? Hey, watch that little heifer. You know? watch little swivel hips. You know what I mean? People are tapped in. So what Abraham's God is saying to him is that it's easy to talk. It's easy to be in communication, right? But to judge righteously regarding them is not so easy. It's easy to talk, but it ain't as easy to discern what's the, you understand? Like if this is of the creator or not. That ain't as easy. So it's easy to be spiritual. Everybody, I'm spiritual. Yeah, that's easy talk. But how do you discern between the spirits that are for you versus the spirits that are not for you? The spirits that are benevolent for you versus the spirits that are malevolent against you. How do you discern? You know how the spirit world operates and get down? I mean, look, Bible tells you that Satan himself masquerades, changes himself into what? An angel of light. So okay, so that means a false god can come appearing exactly how you think, you dig, your deity should be looking. That's why you was never supposed to put an image on creator ever, because evil angel or a deity, a dark deity, can come looking exactly how you expect your God to look when it returns or gathers you or whatever. And evil angel can look just like the Yeshua or Jesus you've been seeing in your dreams since you've been a youngin', blowing your drawers out. Really? Hey, those that have a battery in their back from a dark deity or some type of lord or whatever, they got spiritual powers too. You know, them do tricks too, or them do miracles too. Remember the story of Moses in the Bible. The warlocks, what did the warlocks do? When Moses threw his staff on the ground and turned into a snake, they did the same thing. If that happened right now, you'd be like, oh, he has spiritual power. So an evil angel can come, or something that's against you, a false god can come appearing exactly how you expect your God to look. And it can do what you perceive as miracles. And it can operate in any name you done called on. That's why it says to judge righteously regarding them is not so easy, because you tripping off a name, what a thing look like, and if it can do a miracle. Ooh, you seasoned for the fryer, boy. Is that what you tripping off of? Is this your rubric you use to determine if this is a righteous spirit rolling with the creator or not, what a thing look like? with name it, answer to, and if it got spiritual powers? Oh no, oh no. Trick no good. Trick no good. Because the very thing you are using, the rubric you're using to determine if this is of the creator or not, the opposite side can do the same thing. If y'all understand that, go ahead and drop a 12,000 in the chat. Go ahead and drop a 12,000 in the chat, man. If you tripping off, if your measure of standard of righteousness, knowing if you're being led by the creator or a deity is what a thing look like, with name and answer to, and if it got spiritual power, you already been deceived. You already been deceived. Huh? Look at this. It's an excellent story about Abraham. You dig it? And he go into teachings in his next chapter, right? And again, the question is, who has a battery in your back? Who got a battery in your back? Meaning, what forces or who's inspiring you? Who's inspiring thou? Huh? Huh? Watch this. Now, after Abraham and his people had returned to Jireh, his camp, and it was night, God said to Abraham, be steadfast. You understand? Stand tall and show your people so that they may understand my words. Now, this is Abraham's God. This ain't Abraham. This is not the creator talking to Abraham. This is one of the creator's gods that just so happened to be Abraham's God. You understand? Putting them on game. You know what I mean? Look at this. And while they were still praying before the altar, God withdrew from Abraham. See, the creator is everywhere. The creator can never withdraw from the situation. So that lets you know right there. But notice this. It said God withdrew from Abraham and allowed the evil angels who had followed them from Sodom and Gomorrah to draw near the altar. And one of the angels clothed himself in a great light. You shouldn't even have a problem with what we're reading right now. You shouldn't be foaming at the mouth, getting mad, uttering curses toward this way. Trick no good anyway, to no avail. I'm just saying the Bible says that Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Right here, it's showing you an evil angel can clothe himself in a great light. What's the problem? You can't even be tripping off what a thing look like. Huh? You already lost him. You just tripping off, man. Look, man, he got to have carbonated skin. He got to have a certain grade of woolly hair. Huh? He get the whites of his eyes got to be bloodshot red. His voice got to be a voice of many waters. Huh? And he got to answer to the name Jesus or Yeshua or Yeshua or Yahoshua or Yeshaya or Yahushai, Yahushai, Yeshaya. Yeah, like what name? Pick one. Whatever name you want to pick, don't matter. An evil angel can answer in that name and come in that name. Notice what he did. The evil angel, and one of the angels clothed himself in a great light and adorned, with sparkling gems, decked himself on out, wrapped himself in some, clothed himself in some light. Boy, put some jewels on, boy. Threw a crown on. Yeah, your kneecaps would have been slapping, knocking hard like a naked child, a naked newborn. You would have got your kneecaps dusted. You saw something like that, and you would have bowed. You would have bowed. Adorned with sparkling gems in the crown, he appeared so all the multitude of people could look upon him. So they saw this cat. Now, mind you, this is an evil angel. This is an evil angel appearing like this, decked out, and can be seen for the multitude of the people. Deception on, though. See that? Deception on. You can't be tripping off what a thing look like. Look, trip off this. Abraham said, I remember Abraham, God the true God, because there are true gods and false gods, right? Abraham's God, since it's a true God, was Abraham never worshipped him or prayed to him. It all goes to the Creator. You know what I mean? So Abraham said, "Who are you?" And the Spirit said, "I am your God, ruler of heaven and earth." Pause right there. And now look, what if you in spiritual communication and you know what I mean? What if you in spiritual communication and you ask this entity, "Who are you?" And that deal answer right there, just like that. "I am your God, ruler of heaven and earth." Huh? See, you got to stop playing with the spirit world. Is serious business. It's not a playground. Huh? Serious business. So the spirit answered and said, "I am your God." This is an evil angel, clothed in light, decked with jewels, got a sparkling crown on his head. Huh? All the multitude can see him. Abraham asked him straight up, and what you need to be doing too, if you call yourself in spirit communion. Hey, who is you? You do that anyway, don't you? When something pop up that you ain't familiar with, who is you? Somebody come knocking at your door, you don't recognize what you want. Who is you? Abraham said, "Who are you?" And the Spirit said, "I am your God, ruler of heaven and earth." Ooh-wee. Game on. Look, Abraham said, "I am your servant. What may I do for you?" And the Spirit said, "You shall take your only son, Isaac, and your host who were with you at Sodom and Gomorrah, and go with me where I will lead you. Well, I have a great work for you." Abraham said, "I will do whatever you put upon me to do." So in the morning, Abraham and his son Isaac and the hosts who had been with Abraham to Sodom and Gomorrah assembled together. And Abraham spoke, saying, "Where to, O God?" Abraham's in communication with the Spirit. He's spiritually communicating. Spiritual communion. Clairvoyant, can hear, see, and speak with the spirit world. Abraham was tapped in. Some of y'all may be tapped in certain aspects. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. It's what Owaski calls sewage. Some of us have more portions than the others, but it's just what it is. You know what I mean? Tapped in. So look. So in the he said, "Where to, O God?" Verse 15. The Spirit answered, saying, "Take sticks and a firebrand, a torch." Huh? Game on. Game on. The Spirit answered, saying, "Take sticks and a torch, a firebrand, and come to the summit of the hill over there. Come to the top of the hill over there. For you shall restore the rights of burnt offerings." Oh-wee. Oh-wee. The burnt offerings. Oh-wee. That's a brutal offering right there now. Nah. Hold on now. That's a brutal offering right there, boy. You know, heads get chopped off or lopped off. Lower extremities get lopped off. Chest cavity get dissected. Organs get cut out. The fat off the organs get cut off. The dismembered head, legs, and organs get tossed on the fire, or get tossed on that grill right there, and the fat get tossed on the fire. Don't forget the blood of the victim is surrounding the altar too. That right there is a brutal offering right there, man. Look at this. It said Abraham told the people what God had said, so they began, and Isaac carried the bundle of willows, such as basket makers use, saying, "This will light the Lord's pieces, but what will you burn for an offering, O Father?" And Abraham said, "God will provide." The peculiar what I noticed about this story in Owaski is Abraham didn't know that Isaac was the burnt offering the whole time they going. He didn't even know it. The first time he found out Isaac was about to be this burnt offering, as soon as he found out, he checked it right on the spot. But in Genesis, the 22nd chapter, God did tempt Abraham and told him, take your son, your only son, Isaac, over to one of those mountains over there, and you're going to offer him as a burnt offering. In Bible, Abraham knew from the very beginning, I'm about to have to roast this. I'm about to have to dismember this little joker. And then I'm about to have to roast this joker. A burnt offering is prepared a certain type of way. Look at this. So in Bible, he knew the whole time while he was walking with Isaac, or Isaac was walking with him, that he's going to have to kill his son. And he was willing to do it. He was willing to do it. You dig? He was willing. His God tempted him with evil, because it is evil and sinful to murder, especially your own son. All right, and Abraham was willing to sin to prove his devotion to his deity. That's scary right there, boy. Because over the years, how many people have claimed they've heard the voice of the God or the deity and did something horrific? Threw the babies in an oil tanker, drowned your children because Jesus told you to. Hey, question it all. Whatever come knocking up top, question that. Who is you? What you want? What's the message? No, I don't agree with that. No, bye. Yeah, you got to get active. If you don't get it cracking in the spirit world, it will get cracking on you. You better get it cracking. Don't just sit back and be no victim. You understand? You need to be filtering them thoughts when they come sliding through, checking them. You know what I mean? Nah, you can't come up in there. We cool. You know what I mean? You can take this light with you though. Look at this. Verse 16. Look at this. Verse 16. What you think is a game? What you think we playing? 16. Now, when they ascended to the place, Abraham gathered logs and heaped them up, and Isaac placed the willows. Then the Spirit spoke. You're spiritual, right? But again, how do you know which spirit is for you and which spirit is against you? How do you know? Right? For those that's, into the Holy Ghost and all that. How do you know that's of the Creator or not? By what? If a miracle can get done. Well, him just did a miracle right here. Nah, why? Because it's answering a certain name. He just told Abraham, I'm your God. I'm the one you niggas I'm the one y'all supposed to been praying to. It's me, rule of heaven and earth. Then the Spirit spoke, saying, what shall a man love above all things in the world? This spirit is an evil angel, though. Never forget that. And Abraham said, God. And the Spirit said, for which reason you shall offer your only son Isaac as a burnt offering, and it shall be testimony before your people that you will obey God, even to the sacrifice of your own flesh and kin. What are we even talking about here? What is we even talking about here? So God tempts with sin. Abraham was willing to go do it, and it was to show the people that you willing to obey God, even if you got to kill little Alfred and offer him as a burnt offering to the deity. You with it, locked and loaded. Abraham was willing to sin to prove his devotion to his God in Genesis, the 22nd chapter. If you understand what I'm saying, drop a 9,000 in the chat. What you got to prove? Why do you got to, in order to prove your devotion? For one, the Creator is all knowing. He already know who down and who not. Don't need you to, don't need it to come tempting you with evil to prove to him or even to yourself that you really down with him. Nah, that don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. Look at this. So to take that temptation off the table, you've been tempted once in your life to prove your devotion to Jesus by killing your loved one. Now you know when that inspiration come crashing through is of an evil angel and it's not of the Creator. Remove that off the table. Remove it out your mind. You dig? And guess what? That take a lot of pressure off. That takes a lot of pressure off. See, Abraham wasn't just spiritually communicating and just, diddly do, neighbor. He wasn't gullible with it. He asked him out right off the rip, who is you? What you want? Right off the rip, he asked him, who is you? You need to be doing the same thing. And then what you want? What's the message? Because had he told Abraham that in the beginning, Abraham would have told him, hell no, I'm not doing it. What are you talking about? Abraham said, verse 18, Abraham said, show me that you are God, so that I may not err. For I have been what? Commanded not to kill. You better be shooting the same way in spirit whenever you're being tempted or inspired to do something. You better be shooting straight. What these deities that have you praying with your rectum in the earth? With another grown man's head 2 centimeters from your rectum being in the earth? Worming on your belly, like these deities playing for keeps. Abraham said, show me that you are God. That's how you handle spirit when it comes through. You got to check it. Who is you? No, you got to prove that. No, why? Because I've been commanded. I have been what? Commanded not to kill. You got to show me you God. Matter of fact, you the one told me not to be out here killing. If you my God. But you got to prove it now. So it don't matter what a thing look like, what name it answer in, or if it can do a murder. When it came down to it, you got to prove that. Or keep it moving. That's how you test or try the spirit, with the spirit. You got to check these jokers. Other than that, you just out here diddly doing, letting life on you. No. We don't agree with none of that. And look what the spirit did. See? You got more authority than you understand and know. And today we're here to talk about it, right? And the spirit departed away from Abraham, perceiving that he knew what? The higher law. What law is that, Malaki? The higher Torah. What law is that? The law of not spilling blood, killing. That's the higher. You're not supposed to be killing. You're not supposed to be spilling blood. No. That's what I'm saying. And all the deities got standing armies, mortal emissaries, ready to spill blood for the deity. Creator gang or faithism, those of us who have an unwavering faith, or unwavering conviction in the creator of all, the ever-present creator, filleth all space and place, all powerful. So no weakness. All knowledge, show no ignorance. Not in form and figure of a man, so no image. That's what I'm saying. So look at this. Abraham knew the higher law, but it made that evil angel who was pump faking like it was Abraham's God depart. How? Because you called him on. See? Think about it. Think about the thousands of Christians who were just deceived during the month of September and October about rapture. They reset these rapture dates 4 times. It was 4 different rapture dates. All of these people were swearing they was hearing from Jesus. All of them swore they was hearing from Jesus. And then you got other Christians saying, well, no, they were deceived. Deceived by who? Because they believe in Jesus. They pray to Jesus. Just like you do. Oh, really? So an evil spirit can take on any name because what they heard, you didn't hear it. But y'all call on the same deity, Jesus. But you didn't fall for the rapture regalia. You didn't fall for that, right? But it was hundreds of thousands of Christians that did. So that means there's a Jesus, you dig, that deceived 100,000 of his own followers. Huh? Oh, if you understand what I'm saying, drop a 3,000 in the chat for the arc cycle of Cosmos. Oh, huh? Look what it say. And the spirit departed away from Abraham, perceiving that he knew what? The higher law. And Isaac was grieved at heart, for he desired to witness what a sacrifice was. And Isaac wanted to see some blood being spilled. Huh? Which shows you, look, we'll trip off this, which shows you they wasn't doing it. They wasn't spilling blood. You did? Isaac didn't even know what he wanted to see what it was. He ain't never seen it. That means Abraham wasn't doing that then. You see? And the people seeing a ram near at hand went and caught it and slaughtered it and sprinkled the blood on the sacrifice, and they lit the fire, roasted the flesh, then took it and gave it to the poor. And Abraham called the place Jehovah Jireh, and they returned to the camp, and Abraham, being moved by God, spoke before the people. Oh, now we're about to get into Abraham's teachings about this whole encounter. Huh? Who has a battery in your back? Is it the creator, or is it some type of dark deity? If it's the creator, throw a vortex in the chat. If it's some type of deity or Lord, if you would have killed Lil Willie, if your God told you to, drop a 2 in the chat. They dig? But if you roll with the creator, the God maker, drop a vortex in the chat, man. You know what I mean? Get the vortex spinning around her. You dig? No. We not out here even endorsing nothing evil. We're telling you, try them spirits when they come knocking. You better. And if the message is murder, offer something up as a burnt offering, that's completely off. Nah. Trick no good. Nah. Seats taken. Nah, we don't even roll like that. You dig? You, matter of fact, you're mistaking us. You're mistaking us for these right here. Show y'all what we got going on. Let me show y'all what we got going on. You know what I mean? These mumble mouth misfortunes. You're mistaking us for these. And don't forget these or your aides to the whole supposed movement. Huh? Look at this right here. Now you mistaking us for them. Look at it.
All right, question for Ease. Would you kill your child, your son, if your God told you to?
You said the Most High told me to?
Yeah.
Or man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is. Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is.
A 22-year-old woman told hotel workers in Holmes County that she had been directed by God, to go on a shooting spree about the solar eclipse, and that not long after she left the hotel in a purple Dodge Challenger driving to the interstate, traveling west, shooting into 2 cars. One of the drivers was shot in the neck, the other grazed in his arm.
If your God came to you right now, tonight, in pomp and glory, shining, and he commanded the death of your child, would you sacrifice your child?
If the Most High is going to do it, of course.
Peter Lucas Moses refers to himself as a radical religious person who is with the Black Hebrews. And he just pleaded guilty to killing a 4-year-old and a woman that he was living with. He killed the 4-year-old because he thought he was gay.
Moses believed 4-year-old Higginbotham was homosexual. Klein says Moses took Higginbotham to the garage, played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, and shot him.
If God came to you and told you to sacrifice your kid, would you sacrifice your kid?
Hell yeah.
God is called a terrible, like demon-like power. God is called a terrible, like demon-like power. God is called the terrible, like demon-like power. So Napa means empty, you could say, or like open. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible.
According to the criminal complaint, Polite told investigators God told him to shoot Pastor Germany. God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
And he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind.
Would you kill your child or your grandchild if your God told you to?
Oh, man.
So that's a yes?
Yeah, well, it's a yes. It's a yes.
It's a yes.
But I think that it would be a test. I don't think the Lord would actually tell you to do it. I think it would just be a test because we can see.
You'd be willing to go through with it?
Or I'll go through any trial the Lord puts me through.
Leader Yahweh Ben Yahweh, the self-proclaimed Son of God, one day in 1981, her North Dade home became a house of death. Banks and her husband, Carl, had just returned from talking with police about another Yahweh member who had been decapitated. Today, Yahweh Ben Yahweh is charged in her attempted murder and the death of her husband. October 1986, Yahweh's take over an Opalaka apartment building. Two residents who were ordered to leave publicly complained. That night, both were shot to death.
Wow! Judah, do you hear me? If the Most High Yahweh tells you to kill your family, would you do it? Yes or no?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
Oh, Judah, no. Damn.
Judah didn't mean that, y'all.
If the Most High say, put your family down, would you do it for the Most High?
By faith, yes. By faith, yes.
By faith, yes.
But he's going to tell me not to do it, just like he did Abraham. We have a story like that already. Next.
The moral law is that if a child was to be rebellious, okay, towards their parents, they was to be taken down and be stoned to death because of that. You see what I'm saying?
Would you do that? Would you do that if your God came back to you today in glory and said, I want you to stone your son if he get rebellious? Would you? Would you do it?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Wow. The Most High was to come to you and ask you to off your loved ones. Would you do it, brother?
If I had made the mistake, if I didn't have ancestors inside of me and I made the mistake to make babies with outside nations, and then I heard the download from my ancestors saying that you need to put them away, yes, I will put them away. Yes, I will put them away.
Yes, I will put them away.
Okay, Judah Nazareth, if the Most High come to you and say, I want you to put down your family, I have a better movement for you that I need you to do, would you do it?
They're out of here. They're out of here.
Oh, wait, do you hear the crack pipe logic? Do you hear the crack pipe logic, brothers and sisters? Oh, man. I was getting some of these teachings right here, man. Abraham has had an experience, and he was told to kill his son and offer him up as a burnt offering. Abraham did the exact opposite of what you heard all these rebels just say they would do. Well, that one little call boy said, hell yeah. He said, boy, if the wind skip across his earlobes with too much atmospheric pressure, Junior gonna be fooled. Junior gonna get set on fire. His dismembered head, corpse, extremities, set on fire as a sweet smelling savor, flavor, aroma to the deity. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. Oh, wait. All right, let's get into this then. Let's get into the understanding. You gotta edify and teach something after you go through experience like that, man. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Look what it says. Abraham said, "This testimony I declare to you regarding which your own brethren are witnesses, that even the chosen of God can be deceived by who? Evil angels. Evil angels, even the chosen of God." And you know, the brothers and sisters run around, hey, look, we Israelites, the chosen of God. But even the chosen of God can be deceived by evil angels, just like you just witnessed. All them said yes, we will kill little Alfred. We will. Boy, what did he say? Boy, he would cheat. Boy said, hell yeah. I mean, he was willing to chop the head off his child. Remove the lower extremities, the legs, chop the legs off. Drop that blade into that chest cavity, pull down like you unzipping a jacket. Then get to cutting out organs. Yeah, get to cutting out organs and cut the fat off the organs. Throw the dismembered head, the lower extremities, the organs on that grill, throw that fat on that fire, take that blood off that victim, make a blood border and set that sucker on fire as a sweet smelling aroma to the deity to prove your devotion. Even the chosen of God can be deceived by evil angels. If you understand that, drop a 4,000 in the chat. We're not here to play. You know what I mean? We're not here to play mighty cuddle, tiptoe. We ain't here to do none of that. If you understand that even the chosen of God can be deceived by an evil angel, and what did we just do? We just watched the whole reel of some Israelites. Those who say they are chosen by God. And last one of them. Say if the inspiration come knocking at their door, they will lay their families down. The one boy say they're out of here. Look at this. You over here playing, not knowing these deities been playing the masses. You understand? Like a fiddle. That's what's going on there. You're being played. You're being played with. You know good and well you don't like when somebody play with you. That even the chosen of God can be deceived by evil angels, for they can take, listen to this, y'all. They can take any name and form. You can say Jesus' name as many variations as you want to. An evil angel or a deity can take on any name and form, meaning it can answer in any name you're calling on in your prayer breath and come looking exactly how you expect your deity to show up and gather you. You can't be tripping off what a thing look like, what name it uses, or if it can do some murders. Nah, you ain't, man. Look, even the chosen of God can be deceived by any angels. Why, Malachi? Because the evil angels can take on any name and form. And having no fear of God before them declare falsehood, lies for truth, and darkness for light. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That's the nature of the game, boy. You know the game you playing? Everybody claim they spiritual today, are talking some way spiritual and tapped in and all that. Hey, you better know how to distinguish and tell the difference between evil angels and righteous angels. righteous spirits and evil spirits. You better know how to tell the difference. And if you're strictly basing it off what a thing answer to, what name it answers, and what it look like, and if it can do some miracles, But over here, trick no good. When I was under the gospel, even this question stumped me. LOL, like, how could I do that? Right. Evil angel come around lying to you. You swear it's the truth. Look at this. And also, as you have seen, the evilest of cities, even as well as the purest, may be the abiding place of who? Angels. There's a whole realm around you. You know what I mean? Or the unseen realm. Right outside visible light, the nanometers you heard Sheila and Cal talk about, 300, 700 nanometers. It's visible light. Anything outside of that you can't see. That's where the spirit realm is at. It's right outside. It begins right outside of visible light, which is a range of 300 to 700 nanometers. See? Look at this. Verse 3. For which reason? This ain't hard. For which reason you shall not seek signs and miracles. Stop looking for something to do a miracle. A lot of y'all stuck with that too, because you swear you saw you a miracle. Okay, cool. Yeah, there are those with spiritual power. There are those who are tapped in. Yes, on both sides of the aisle. So Abraham put you on game. He said, look, man, dealing with the spirit world, you got to be straight shooter. Who is you and what you want? As soon as this spirit you talking to, who you calling your spirit guide, show his hand, and the hand is the murderer, do something that you know is against what the Creator is talking about. You challenge that spirit. You got to prove to me you that. I've been commanded not to do none of that. Nah, I ain't get the memo on that. For which reason you shall not seek signs and miracles. Stop looking for a miracle to happen. For these may be from who? Who? Evil spirits. Evil spirits or evil angels can do miracles. Even though they show their bodies or converse learnedly. It is not in the power of man to know by words. It is not in the power of man to know by words and signs or by oaths or promises. What is truth? Bag drop, boy. Bag drop. Bag drop, boy. It is not in your power to know by words or what a thing is named. Words and signs or by oaths or promises what is truth. Verse 4, but the Father has created one thing besides, which is his own light, for which reason be believing toward men and angels. And when they teach you according to Creator. Now you understand. And look, a lot of times we ask, what was the message? You've been spiritually communicating. What message you got for us? Or what message did that your spirit guide have for you? Learn what to listen for. Listen to this. It says, for which reason be believing toward men and angels, and when they teach you a mortal or spirit, and when they teach you according to Creator Jehovah, which is life to all, and happiness to all, without, look at this, without sacrifice to any. They are holy. You understand? If the message is about life to all and happiness to all, without anyone having to sacrifice, die, be murdered, be forced into devotion. You see, the Creator is about life to all. He wants you to create you to live. And happiness to all. So the doctrine got to be about life. The doctrine got to be about happiness to all. So you got to remove slavery off the table too. That is not of the Creator. The Creator is not down with any type of bondage. Notice what it says, without sacrifice to any. They or holy. What do you mean without sacrifice to any? That is without worshiping any god, man, or angel, without demands that you follow a certain person, and without having tribute, prayer demanded of you. Wow. Or service, tribute is service. Demanded of you. They are holy. If man or angel says, hey, Keela, visit the sick, and a minister, serve the distress. Look what it says. It says, follow his advice, for it is of the Father. You see? It's not hard. Just be solid. Be righteous. Be stand up. Be solid. That's it. So life to all, happiness to all, without sacrifice to any. Visit the sick. You know what I mean? Serve the less fortunate. Relieve the less fortunate. It says follow his advice, whether that's a man or a spirit, for it is of the Father. But if man or angel says, do this and you shall have profit or glory or applause, do not obey him, for he advises for yourself and not for the brotherhood of man. He is not of God. Ooh-wee. So if the message is selfish, now ain't got to be one about bloodshed and killing and raping. What if it's a selfish, self-centered message? Where's you? Do this and you shall have profit or glory or standing ovation, applause. Do not obey him, for he advises for yourself. You see, the Creator's message is not a selfish message. It's selfless. Give away all. You understand? Willing to give away all so you could live and still create. See, so even if the message is selfish and not, bloody, you dig? That's still not of the Creator. If you understand that, drop a 2,000 in the chat. We cooking. We cooking a little taste. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Look at this. Look at this. You be put on game so you can know. And then trip off this, y'all. Once you understand how spirit work, then, or the spirit world work, you won't be able to be sold a bill of goods ever again. Because realize a lot of these groovy gurus have come up off your feebleness and ignorance of the spirit world. Yeah, that's how your pastors and came up, all your gurus. You know what I mean? You had, especially a couple of years ago, everybody was selling spirit. Everybody. Look at this. For spirits will come disguised as your fathers and mothers who are dead. Look, do you know the level of game you play? Boy, an evil spirit can come looking like Meemaw. Big Mama. Or any of your loved ones who are dead. How you know that's for you and not against you? Only way you know is if the message, you got to listen for the message. For spirits will come disguised as your fathers and mothers who are dead, professing love and profit to you. Do not believe them, except when they teach you to sacrifice self to what? Sacrifice self for the good of others. The message got to be, it got to be something that involves the brotherhood of man. It got to be a selfless message. The message is to sacrifice self for the good of others. It got to be a message that's about life, liberty, and happiness to all without the sacrifice of any. Even if it's a self-centered message about you, coming up and hitting the Powerball or something, that ain't got nothing to do with the Creator. Nothing. Dang. So it's telling you don't believe none of that talk, none of that spiritual talk, except when they teach you to sacrifice self for the good of others. So Big Mama could appear to you. Listen for the message. That's all you're listening for. The message. What's the message? Is the message self-centered? Maybe play these numbers so you can hit the Powerball, or is it sacrifice self for the good of others? Listen for it. It's all about the message. That's it. It ain't about what a thing look like. It ain't about what name it answer in, and it ain't about if it can do a miracle. It ain't even about that, right? It's strictly about the message. You communicating spiritually, you need to know what the hell going on, don't you? Don't you, Johnny? Don't you need to know what's going on? And the spirit world is not a playground. Look at this. Look at this. The wicked in heart, having profited in herds and in gold and silver, say, behold, behold, God has blessed me. But I say to you, they are cursed. But I say to you, they are cursed. But I say to you, they are cursed and not of God. Has he gathered you together here because you were rich? Is the creator dealing with you? And his prerequisite is you got to have a certain amount in your bank account? Is that what you think this is? Has he gathered you together here because you were rich? You were slaves and in poverty. Sound familiar? Sick and in bondage. Sound familiar, don't it? And he came and delivered you. Be like him, and he will abide with you. See? Even the message one of prosperity, like that boy named Creplo Dollar and Creeplo Dollar and TD Snakes and a Reverend Ike. You can't lose with the stuff I use. Reverend Ike say he don't hear nothing, he don't see nothing but green. Boy, I say, boy, and look, he was before Creflo and TD Jackson. There was a cat named Reverend Ike out on the East Coast somewhere, New York. Man, he was talking that talk. He wasn't playing by his money, boy. But has he gathered you together because you were rich? No, you were slaves and in poverty, sick and in bondage, and he came and delivered you. Be like him, and he will abide with you. If a man comes to you saying, and this is what make a wasp be, ice cold. Like, it's giving you practical examples on how to commune spiritually, how to deal with the spirit world when it come knocking. You know what I mean? What you supposed to be listening for, what you not supposed to be looking for. It's putting you straight on game. So when somebody like Joshua out of South Africa, I am 1,000,000% sure, brothers and sisters, the rapture of the church. You say, God, you gave me your word. You spoke with me face to face. Look, we already knew that a dark Lord had a battery in his back from the moment he started talking. Come out, you saw Jesus face to face, and he told you all these different dates and Julian calendars, Gregorian calendars, Enoch's calendar. And then you just said a date again for October 21st and 22nd. A fail again. So who got a battery in Joshua's back? He says Jesus. Okay, that's what's up with that. Mean whoever you identifying as Jesus deceived you, boy. You've been deceived. If a man comes to you saying, behold, this is my coat, give it to me. You shall say, prove yourself as to who you are. Like, you got to prove to me that, who you are before I give you that coat. But if a man comes to you saying your herd is going astray, you shall not say to him, prove yourself as to who you are, but go and see after your herd. If a spirit says, behold, I am your father, because again, some of you may have had visions of your loved ones who have crossed over. It don't necessarily mean it's a demon or anything like that. The only way you can, tell if it's a dark lord, a dark deity, is listening for the message, what message they got for you. So look, if a spirit says, behold, I am your father, say to him, this is what you say. You got to be a straight shooter. You can't be out here vulnerable, diddly-do neighboring. No. So even if one of your loved ones come holler at you and say, hey, man, it's me. You know what I mean? Huh? It's me. Cousin Lucky, it's me. Right? Say to him, that's good. It is well. What you want? Huh? Like, because if it's of the Creator, then it ain't there to shoot the breeze with you. You understand what I'm saying? There's a message. The reason the Spirit is manifesting itself and showing itself to you because it has a message for you. It ain't there just to shoot the breeze and study cloud patterns. That ain't what this is about. So even if a spirit pop up and say, hey, I'm your pops, say to him, that's what's up. That's good. It is well. What you want, though? Ooh. You sure you ready to be a heavyweight in the spirit world? You sure you ready for that? Because even if your most loved one pop up, you dig? Talking about it's me. Huh? It's me. Huh? That's good. What you want? That's how you got to be. See, this is to make sure you're not deceived. Right? It is well. What do you want? And when he answers you, consider if his words are of God, which are for the glory of the Creator. See, you wait when he answers your question about who are you, what do you want? Consider. Now you got to consider if this is of the Creator or not. And when he answers you, consider if his words are of God, which are for the glory of the Creator. God's words is to glorify our Creator. Huh? When a God or an angel or other creators pop up, their job, their number one thing is to declare the ever presence of the Creator to you. Yeah. And if his words are not of God, you shall challenge him to prove himself. You see that? It's the game you in, though. Spiritual, right? You tapped in, you know, right? Things you be hearing and eventually end up speaking come true. Okay. I'm never the one to knock anybody's spiritual experience. Never. You had it. That's what's up. We just got to examine the message. That's all we got to do now. Just examine the message and determine if it's of Creator or if it's not. Look at this. It said right here. So it's telling you to challenge that sucker, man. Don't just believe that. If the words are the Creator or of God, which is for the glory of the Creator, then that's what's up. You dig? That means that's really pops. All right, that's what's up. Right? But if his words are not of God, you shall challenge. You got to prove that. You ain't even coming with no message from the Creator. What you want? As God is captain of heaven and earth to all righteous souls, so is there a Satan who is captain over who? Evil spirits. Evil spirits. Yeah, boy. They've been selling spirit past 5-6 years, and you've been getting sold a bill of goods. Yes, but they're spoiled though. They're spoiled goods. And you swore you was so, so cognitive, and your pineal gland was open. Nick Rose was drinking liquid gold and volcanic water with volcanic ash in it, black water. Nick Rose was sleeping with crystals in their bed sheets or their pillowcases. Putting all types of stuff and an effort to tap in to something you already got. You know what I mean? And they was selling spirit a couple years ago, and look, got rich off of it, man. Now some cats became millionaires off that. You did? Look at this. And to the extent that the king's peoples do not have faith in the Father, so do their souls fall prey to Satan and his hosts. And you won't have faith in the Father, man. Faith in your maker, Creator, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. Yet neither shall, trip off this. It says right here, verse 13. Yet neither shall man flatter himself by saying, behold, I have joined the faithless, or Israelites. Because the chosen of God can be deceived, right? My soul shall escape hell, for in that day and hour, God may be putting him to the test to see if his heart is for good, or look at this, to see if his heart is for good works and holiness. For because you profess God rolling off your lips, you are doubly bound to practice godliness in your behavior toward men and angels. Good night, good night. If you understand what's going on so far, my brothers and sisters. If y'all understand what's going on so far, y'all go ahead and drop a 2,000 in the chat, man. CGG still cooking, boy. Still cooking. Easy work, man. Easy work. Let's get it. Ooh-wee. Somebody gonna be mad. Somebody God done fed. Gang be out taking heads. Out of taking heads, boy. What are we talking about? All praise to the Creator, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. Let's go over it, man. Get some discipline. That's something that we all need in our life, is some discipline, right? Get some understanding. Well, we got a book of discipline over here dealing with the OISP. I ain't heard nothing evil yet for all you mumble mouth naysayers. I ain't heard nothing evil yet, man. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. You dig? And you know, it's been truly a marvelous ride, I must say. Truly a marvelous ride. We go into the book of discipline, chapter 1, OISP headshot. Woo. God reveals who he is. There we go, right here. Matter of fact, here, let me go grab this. Let me go grab this real quick. Give me a second, fam. CGG. All right, let's get into some of this discipline real quick. A little taste. Book of Discipline, chapter 1. Oh, I speak. God reveals who he is. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. All right, let's get it. It says, this is the word from the organic heaven. Hear the words of your God, oh man. I am who? Hold on. Matter of fact, let's move the screen around. Let's taste. Let's see. Which one is better? This one better? I think that's better right there. All right, cool. That way we ain't blocking the words, man. All right. Check this out here. This is the word from the organic heaven. Hear the words of your God, oh man. I am your brother. I am your brother, risen from mortality to a holy place in heaven. Prophet in my wisdom and be admonished by my love. God says I'm your brother, not your father. God is not the creator. God is a creation. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That's a game changer right there. Because you've been praying to God your whole life. God or the Lord. I'm praying to the Lord. I'm praying to God. And God just busted your bubble and said, look, I'm your brother. Huh? But God says, I'm your brother. I'm a one-time man. I am your brother, risen from mortality. Huh? You came through the womb of a woman too. I am your brother, risen from mortality to a holy place in heaven. Prophet in my wisdom, huh? And be admonished by my love. Do you understand that God is not the creator? God is a creation. Huh? Drop a 1,000 in the chat for your brother, man. Drop a 1,000 in the chat for your brother. God is your brother. God is a one-time man. God is resurrected and risen from mortality and is now in a holy place in heaven. Huh? But God is not the creator. God is who you become, not who you worship. God is who you become, not who you worship. Shout out to Selah Shalom. Look at it. For as I am your elder brother, so shall it be with you. To rise also in time to come and look back to mortals and call them to the exalted heavens of the Almighty. Look at that. Look at what God's job is. It's to look back to mortals and call them to the exalted heavens of the Almighty. That's your job as God. And to raise your little brothers and sisters up so they can be where you at. You can continue to, elevate and resurrect. Knows what God said. God says to Jehovah, to the creator, all adoration and glory forever. Amen. Look at this. All life. Now God is giving it up. He's giving praise to the creator, to whom it is due. You've been praying to God, but God give all the praises to the creator. God telling you, I'm your brother. Our father is the creator. And where you at? I done been there. Where I'm at, you coming. Huh? But all praises go to the creator. When they asked Jesus how to pray in the Bible, what did he say? Our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. You see what I'm saying? So look how he's giving it up. To the creator, all adoration and glory forever. Huh? All life, motion, power, and things seen and unseen are by and through him. All life, motion, power, and things seen and unseen or by and through him. Neither is there an angel in heaven so high, nor sufficiently wise to comprehend the creator in his entirety. Huh? There ain't an angel raised high enough, nor sufficiently wise enough to completely comprehend creator. That's powerful. You'll never catch Creator. Creator is forever in motion. The highest raised angel ain't high enough nor wise enough to fully understand his maker. That's powerful, man. Look at it. For he is within all. This is what God tells you about our maker, our Father. The Creator is within all, beyond and overall, being ever present in all places. Ooh, being ever present in all places. Ooh, wait. Bars, being ever present in all places, doing by virtue of his presence, quickening all the living, adorable above all things. As the sun is to the light of day, so is the Creator to the understanding of all the living. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. What is we talking about her? What is we even talking about her? Upon which to contemplate. Contemplate on what? How the Creator is to the understanding of all the living, how the sun is to the light of day. And if you meditate on that, contemplate, upon which to contemplate is the road of everlasting life. By contemplating on that, reflecting on that, rising in wisdom, love, and power forever and ever. Look at this. Hear your God, old man. Big bro don't sound like no chump sucker, boy. You dig? And he giving the praises to the Creator, our Father. Hear your God, old man, and distinguish then that the two, God and Jehovah, God and Creator, are not the same one. Nor is your God more than what you shall be in time to come. Who got a battery in your back? Jehovah or the Creator and God are not the same. You dig? And a God is simply what you, if you choose, you become God one day. God is who you become. This is not who you worship. Oh, wait. Let's get some understanding. First mortality, then. So first you live, then death, then you die, which is what? The first resurrection. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. 13:14. That is awareness of S or spirit in contradistinction to awareness of corporeal world. Such are the spirits of the dead. Look at this. Angels dwelling with mortals upon the earth. The spirits of the dead are angels that dwell with mortals upon the earth, where they abide, some for a few years, some for 100, and some for 1,000 or more years. You learned about the first resurrection. Wandering spirits. That happens as soon as you die. Really. Second resurrection or second angel organization in heaven and their abandonment of mortals, which is the second resurrection. So the angels that roll with the Creator are organized. They're a unit. You know what I mean? And by the time you get to the second resurrection, you've been already abandoned all your earthly desires. Abandonment of mortals. Already renounced all affiliation to whatever organization, whatever you got going on. You know what I mean? Detach. Eventually, whatever vice it is you're dealing with, it won't have any type of influence over you. I mean, you'll be strong enough to kick whatever vice that is you got going on. You know what I mean? Subdue it and conquer it. Yep. Look at it. As a kingdom on earth has a king, and the king is nevertheless immortal. So in like manner is the heavenly place of your God, a kingdom of angels. The heavenly place of your God, a what? A kingdom of angels. Dang. And the chief over them is God, an angel Also, backdrop boy, God is an angel. An angel is a one-time man. Man, angel, and God are the same thing, like water, ice, and vapor. There's different degrees of density, you know what I mean? The same thing. That just told you God is an angel. He's just the chief over the heavenly kingdom. Right? One of many kingdoms. But God is not the creator. Now you're learning about the setup of the heavenly kingdom. Right? Yet, nevertheless, the kingdom of your God embraces all the heavens of the earth. And it is also with all physical or corporeal worlds and their atmospheric heavens. A God and organic heavens belonging to each and all of them. Nor is this all, but there is a third resurrection. Look at this. There is a third resurrection in which the angels rise still higher in what? Wisdom, love, and power. A third resurrection, huh? Man. And are sent by your God. And are sent by your God into where? Etheria. Midway between the planets and stars, the highest of all heavens, over which there are chiefs who are also gods and goddesses of still more comprehensive attributes. Good night. Therefore, this is what God tells you. Therefore, I am like any other spirit of the dead. You hear what God say? He's a spirit of the dead. Why? Why, Malachi? Why would God say it? Because God was a one-time man and he died. And then he became a spirit or an angel and then rose to the rank of a God. God is a creation. God is not the creator. Therefore, I am like any other spirit of the dead. A one-time what? Man upon the earth. Even as you are in this day, but one within the organic heavens of the earth. Let's get into this chapter 2. Let's get it. You can get some understanding. What was this over here? Okay, right here. Let's look at some of this too. Understand what it is. At the times of day and harvest points, nevertheless, there are always such angels in atmosphere, being eligible for the resurrection into Etheria, should they so choose. For some may volunteer to stay in atmosphere or the atmosphere a day or more, another 400 years or something, before ascending into Etheria. We learn about the setup of the heavenly kingdoms. Chapter 2, discipline, speed, body blow. Body blow. God explains the first and second resurrection and the difference in manifestations from them. Who has a battery in your back? Look at this. Let's see, it says 13:16. Let's read this too. It said the first resurrection discussed in this chapter and the next two chapters, 2 through 4, pertain to the angels of the inorganic or unorganized first resurrection. See that? And this is in contradistinction from the angels of the organic first resurrection, the organized, who are Essenes, enrolled in the organic heavens of God, Son of Jehovah. Look at that. And these Essenes, being thus under the guidance of the light of the second resurrection, fall under the latter's purview. Well, there's a difference between there's a first resurrection for everyone, but there's a difference between where the faithists go, the organic first resurrection, versus where everybody else got it, inorganic, wandering spirits, wandering around, you know what I mean, causing havoc. Let's get into this. Hear me, O man, and consider the weight of the arguments of your God. You have communed with the spirits of the dead. Your father, mother, sister, and brother, who are no longer mortal, have spoken to you in spirit, and you are convinced. You see that? And you are convinced. Now, Look what it say. And your kin and your neighbor have done so likewise. Yes, from east to west and north to south, the communion of angels and a multitude of miracles have stirred up thousands and millions to know that the souls of the dead do live. Moreover, you were taught in your youth to say, I believe in the holy communion of angels. And in truth, this has come to pass. And you rejoice with all your heart and soul. You put aside the ancient scriptures, saying, why shall I read them? Do I not converse with heaven itself? Behold, I have seen my father and mother, my brother and sister who were dead. They have spoken to me. There is no devil or place of hell. For a season, your God has allowed or suffered this also to happen, that the spirits say there is no God, that there is no higher heaven than to dwell upon the earth, to enjoy the things there, to be reincarnated. Look at this. To be reincarnated and to live over and over in mortality. Tolerate these so that the evidence of my words could be substantiated by your experience and you be led to consider the testimonies, present and past, in order to comprehend the plan of the Creator's works and their glory and completeness. Consider then the result of angel communion as you have found it, and bear witness that the Creator was wise in providing comfort to both the dead and the living by this proximity of spirit to them, rather than a heaven far remote. Nevertheless, this also has been proved to you that there are false angels, come on now, and wise angels, as well as false seers, and wise seers, and that out of the multitude of revelations from them, there has come neither harmony nor good works. Look at this here. You got a battery in your back. Look what had happened. They have been what? Pullers down and clearers away of the ancient revelations, doctrines, and religions. But they have not built an edifice of unity and glory to the Almighty. Look at that. Yeah, you come through and clear some things out and destroy it and reveal some truth, but you ain't put your pain in. That deal say you ain't built an edifice of unity and glory to the Almighty. Look at him. You got to declare the Creator to the masses. Period, point blank, in the story. You got to. All right. Other than that, you're wasting your time. And it has been shown you that not only the seer, prophet, Suis, and miracle worker, but that all people, even though unconsciously to themselves, are subject to the influence of the spirits of the dead. Look at that. And it has been shown that the spirits of the dead possess for a long period of time the same characteristics and prejudices as when in mortality. And since there is neither harmony nor community of life among mortals, neither is there harmony nor community of life, nor the teaching of it among the angels who manifest to these mortals. Look at that. Who has a battery in your back? We can tell by the message, and we can tell by the actions. The message and character, the message and action. We can tell. Look at that. What you think is a game? Where the angels teach one doctrine through one prophet, and another doctrine through another prophet, reflecting the doctrines of the prophets themselves. Consider also the multitude of infants who died without any knowledge of either earth or heaven, and the multitude of the unlearned, the foolish and the depraved. For all of these, as well as the wise and good, enter the first resurrection. 13:17, what does it say? Here, first resurrection seems to refer the S realm, Hadah, that touches the earth. For at death all pass into that Hadah, or the lower heavens, though their stay may be short, depending upon their grade. Look at this. Look at this. I don't do that right there. Verse 14. All right, Book of Discipline, chapter 2, verse 14. And of the wise and good who strive for continual elevation. How few. Shout out to the gang, man. How few compared to the whole. Yet such is the relative proportions of angels of light and angels of darkness in proximity to mortals. Huh? And let's read that again. Yet such is the relative proportions of angels of light and angels of darkness in proximity to mortals. Read it again. And of the wise and good who strive for continual elevation, how few compared to the whole, yet such is the relative proportions of angels of light and angels of darkness. Like, how is it? It's only a few compared to the whole that are striving for continual elevation amongst mortals. It's the same with the angels or the spirits of the dead. It's only a few. It's a few compared to the whole. And notice what it says. It says, yet such is the relative proportions of angels of light and darkness and angels of darkness in proximity to mortals. And it has always been so. Nevertheless, in time long past, the minority who were wise and good were moved upon by the Spirit of the Creator, who said, look at this. Only a few of us, CGG. You dig? But we heard it all, you got to deal with it. Look at this right here. Verse 16. Notice what it said, though. It said, who were wise and good were moved upon by the Spirit of the Creator, who said, come together. This is a message from the Creator, right? Come together, all you who desire to rise to a higher heaven. My heavens are for raising the soul upward forever and ever. My heavens are for raising the soul upward forever and ever. Onward and upward forever. That's what we talking about. Not stuck somewhere bound in a box. Nah. We got to keep moving. We ain't trying to be bumping our head against the wall in a place that's no bigger than the Midwest portion of the continent of the United States. No. Or the continent of North America. No. That deal say, my heavens are for raising the soul upward forever and ever. And your God gathered them together and said to them, behold, this darkness is more than we can bear. Let us depart from her and inhabit a heaven by ourselves, where there shall be no wrangling, falsehood, malice, or blasphemy against our Creator. And they responded, yes, let us depart. Yes, let us depart. And we will covenant ourselves to the Creator to never again reside in these regions, nor with mortals on earth. But does the behavior of mortals not invite darkness rather than light? Do they not want us for servants to find lost treasures, or to procure riches or social indulgence, or to entertain them with miracles? Thus it came to pass that the wisest and best angels departed away from the earth, away from mortals, and away from the inharmonious presence of the legions of the spirits of the dead. And they inhabited a heavenly region by themselves. And they covenanted themselves to Jehovah, to the Creator, to not return again single-handed to minister to mortals, to not return again to mortals unless they came in phalanxes, only then when duly authorized and directed by their most holy council and their chief, who was God. They like, look, yeah, we showing up mob deep wherever we go from her on out. That's another thing, you dig? These brothers and sisters show up mob deep. Yeah. Such then was the beginning of the second resurrection. And the condition of membership required the renunciation of all associations. You heard this? So you can't enter the second resurrection being an alpha, a kappa, a delta, a sigma, a crip, blood, hoover, gangster disciple, none of that. None of that. All that got to be renounced. For my brothers is in the lodges and all that got to be renounced. The Creator only. And it's conditional. And the condition of membership required the renunciation of all associations and conditions below it. Yeah, you can't be showing up talking about you some type of crip, some type of blood. You can't show up there with your slick bottoms on, talking about you part of the talented 10th, the bootleg. No. You can't show up there talking about you a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout. None of that. Nah, y'all, look, this is what it is. Whatever that was, you know what I mean, was just a stepping stone or something to bring you into reality of who your maker is. And how those that roll with the credit must become affiliative. They must come together. Read again. Such then was the beginning of the second resurrection, and the condition of membership required the renunciation of all associations and conditions below it. And the rank of all such angels was angels of God or angels of Jehovah, in contradistinction from the angels of the first resurrection, who know no organization for righteousness' sake. But so that mortals would not be left in darkness, behold, your God and his holy council prepare certain rules of discipline. You need discipline. Some people say they need more time or you need motivation. No, you just need discipline. And you need to consistently do that. Discipline is you doing the stuff you don't feel like doing. But doing it is going to bring a major league benefit to what you got going on. You got to get that done then. We're in the book of discipline. See, the angels of discipline, they ain't laying up to 10:30 in the morning, scratching, farting. Nah. We got business to handle. Feet to the streets. Look at this. It says, behold, your God and his holy council prepares certain rules of discipline and conduct, as well as commandments by which the angels of the second resurrection will be as a unit in their duties and teachings from that time forward. Look at that. That is, chief of which rules was that the angels of the Creator should never, look at this, that the angels of the Creator should never manifest themselves as individuals to the mortals. Who you been talking to? The angels of the Creator should never manifest themselves as individuals to the mortals, lest mortals become servants to and worshipers of the spirits instead of the all-highest Creator, Jehovah. Second, it is that when the angels of Jehovah are appointed to mortals, it should be as guardians over infants to inspire them. Hold on, this is how you know. What's the name of the class? What's the name of the class? Who has a battery in your back? The Creator versus Deities. Look, y'all are light years ahead of the curve. Most people don't even know how to handle love in the spirit world. They don't even know. They don't have a clue. Someone appear out of nowhere, boy, you be low running. Low running. Them blew all your draws out. So why haven't your spiritual teacher, spiritual guru put y'all on game about the basics of the spirit world? The spirit world 101. Look at this. It said right here that when the angels of Jehovah are appointed to mortals, it should be as guardians over infants to inspire them by way of the natural consciousness within as to what was right and good in reference to eternal life. And that such guardian angels are not to be in phalanxes of millions and tens of millions, but still in close membership with your God and his holy council in order to relieve one another on God. You're learning a lot, man. Look at this. For by the inspirations of the angels of your God, the individual entity of a mortal is directed in its normal growth. By the angels of the first resurrection, the inorganic heavens, mortals are used abnormally, by entrancement, by miracles, by sarges, by oracles, or otherwise. Or by the inspiration of the angels of your God, the individual entity of a mortal is directed in its normal growth. Look at this. But by the angels of the first resurrection, or the inorganic heavens, those that ain't in the, that haven't enlisted into the Creator's Academy when they cross over, mortals are used abnormally. This stuff ain't right. It's not normal. By entrancement, by miracles, by sarges, meaning the spirit can manifest, spirit can manifest right there in the flesh, by oracles or otherwise, so that the angels of God could inspire all mortals with the same inspiration. Behold, he and his holy council prepare certain instruction with rules, words and commandments adapted to the understanding of mortals for the good of their souls and without pandering to their earthly desires. Such words being designated as sacred writings when originally given to mortals, though for the most part perverted or lost sight of afterward. Chief angels over these phalanxes are lords, marshals, captains, and so on. The second resurrection being orderly, disciplined, and organized in its glorious word. That's powerful, boy. Thus, my lords have angels under them who are authorized and ordained in my name and in the name of the Creator to abide for times and seasons with mortals as guardians and inspirers. Who has a battery in your back? To provide dreams, thoughts, and visions in the minds of mortals. All that comes from angels. And angels are one-time living men and women. So in essence, angels are your ancestors. The angels are your ancestors. So is God. God is an angel too. When you hear us say peace to the God, we'll be talking to each other because we gods, or if you're a woman, you're a goddess in training. To provide dreams, thoughts, and visions in the minds of mortals, and to otherwise labor in elevating them in purity, love, and wisdom. So then are the angels of God and of the Creator, Jehovah. And their teachings are the same as my lords and your gods. Nor does one of them teach a matter in one way, and another teach it differently. Although there are different grades and systems adapted to the different degrees of intelligence of the different peoples on earth. The angels of the Creator all have the same message. It's not you got a different message than what that other one got over there. Like in the Bible, Paul had a different message than James and them. Well, that means whoever Paul is listening to is not the same one that James and them was listening to. It's that simple. How do you know they're not listening to the same one? Because the message is different. See, we ain't tripping out what a thing look like. We ain't tripping out what the name and answer to in your prayer breath. And we ain't tripping off no miracles. We listening for the message. We listening for the message. But the angels of the Creator don't teach differently. If y'all understand that, drop a 4,000 in the chat, man. We out here cooking. You know what I mean? Chapter 3, discipline or speed. God illustrates the difference of method between the first and second resurrection. We getting some understanding, man. We getting some understanding. We walking right through it. Hold on, y'all. I need to take this. I need to take this real quick. Give me 1 second. Ooh-wee. My boy say duck running around this deal, boy. Jang, son. Jang, B. Hello for Wally Benini, son. Wally Benini, son. All right, let me take this call real quick. Y'all be right. All right, my bad, family. Had to handle some business real quick. Make sure the short leg is cold. You feel me? All good, all good, all good. All right, now check this out. Let's get into this chapter 3. You dig? How we looking? Okay, we looking good. Looking good. We looking good. Shout out to my brother Dreadful Cosmon in the building. What's the word? West Side. Cali Connect. What's the word, bro? How you be? I was getting to this chapter 3. It says, "Open your understanding, O man, so that you may discern the beauty and glory of heavenly places prepared by your God, lords, and guardian angels." Dang. Dang. For as we came about in the first resurrection, which may be likened to a great medley, a noise and confusion of a mighty multitude, so that we covenant with Jehovah to make ourselves orderly, and a unit in growth. It's all about growth and development, manifestation, expression, and future development, so that the place of the second resurrection would do nothing in common with the first. Look at this, boy. You ain't never read nothing like this. Stop playing with yourself. You ain't never read nothing like this. No? You ain't never read nothing like this. Shout out to our brother Zion. What's the word, Art? Man, good to see you, bro, man. What's the bro? How you be? Love and light to the fam, man. I want to read that too again. It says, "For as we came about of the first resurrection, which may be likened to a great medley, a noise and confusion of a mighty multitude, so that we covenant with the Creator to make ourselves orderly and a unit in growth." We covenant with the Creator to become what? Orderly. It ain't haphazard. It ain't just, you skipping through the playground. Look at this. And a unit in growth. A unit in manifestation, expression, and future development. Got growth and development right up in there. Look at it. So that the place of the second resurrection would do nothing in common with the first. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Look at it. Whatever. For the Creator, or Jehovah, for the Creator created mortals and angels to attract each other. Look at this. Who has a battery in your back? So whatever it is you're doing, you're being inspired to do it. That's the whole point. Whatever it is that you're doing, you being inspired to do it. Everybody knows this. You know what I mean? This is not a rocket science. It just is what it is. And since the aspiration and desire of most mortals pertain to themselves as individuals, so the two bound themselves in the same pursuits and earthly hopes. Look at this. For whoever on earth love riches or fame or great learning or even evil, such as dissipation, drunkenness, gluttony, sexual indulgence, theft, gambling, or arson, doing any or all of these things for self's sake or for evil, attracted angel companions. Look at this. Attracted angel companions of a like order, who by inspiration or otherwise led him on to achieve his heart's desire. Good night. Get you some angelic friends, huh? If you was in any of that, attracted angel companions of a like order. Jehovah or the Creator created mortals and angels alike to attract one another. If you acting like this, if you on demon time, well, that's because the force that's inspiring you, that has a battery in your back, you dig, is a demon. They on that type of time. And it came to pass that when such mortals died and entered the first resurrection, their former inspirers became their companions and rulers. Whoever got a battery in your back, boy, when you cross over, you about to go see him. You his slave. He rule over you. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Wow. You got to go see him. When such mortals died and entered the first resurrection, their former inspirers became their companions and rulers, having shaped their thoughts while in mortality, through their labors for self and earthly objects. And these in turn became angel inspirers to other mortals of like characteristics, so that a long period of time passed away before the spirits who were thus bound to earth could be persuaded that there were other heavens open for them to come and inherit. And as it was so then, even so is it this day with the spirits of the dead. You be like, man, it's like pulling teeth trying to convince somebody about the Creator. Now you know why. Now you know why. Look at this. You gotta get some understanding dealing with the spirit world, man. It's way deeper than what you've been led to believe. As there are good lands on earth still unoccupied, while in other regions there are great cities with mortals crowded together, starving and dwelling in misery, and they will not leave. Even so is it with the great multitude of angels of darkness gathered together upon the face of the earth. And many of them will not depart into the higher heavens of the Creator. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. Look at this. Look at this. As cold metal in contact with hot metal changes temperature, so by angel contact with the spirit of man, knowledge passes from one to the other. So also is it of the passions, sentiments, desires, and aspirations between the two. Dang. Okay. Gotta check your temperature. As cold metal in contact with hot metal changes temperature, so by angel contact with the spirit of man, knowledge passes from one to the other. So it's the same with your passions. All that. You got a desire for laying with greased up midgets. Hey, that's some type of spirit that got you overwhelmingly wanting some greased up midgets. There's something that inspires you. Who has a battery in your back? Also, as where the sea breaks upon the land, and the two are always in contact, so is the spirit world ever in contact with the mortal world. Make sense? Makes sense, don't it? Just like the ocean is always in contact with land, The spirit world is always in contact with man. They're always there. They're always right there. And then the two are always in contact. So is the spirit world, even in contact with the mortal world. The ancients named this place of contact the intermediate world or place of purgitation, cleansing, from which none could arise till made organically pure. Now, therefore, your God shows you certain signs, characteristics of the difference between the angels of the first and the second resurrection. Of the first, coming as individuals, whether professing names, signs, or histories, and especially the ancients, whose words are uttered from the standpoint of the earth looking upward, but of the second, so you again, based off the message and all that, right? But of the second is light only, whose words emanate from my holy places in heaven coming down to you. At the first resurrection, flatterers to win your favor, whose counsel pertains to yourself and to earthly things. Of the second resurrection, to teach you self-abnegation, denial of self, and leads you to good, and leads you to do good to others regardless of your own profit, caring little whether you are prosperous on the earth, provided you shall be raised up in time to come. I can tell the difference between the inspirations that's coming through. Is it of the first resurrection, the inorganic first resurrection, or is it of the second resurrection? It is. For the revelations of the second resurrection come from the light of my holy counsel, who have abandoned their earthly habits and desires. You see that? That second resurrection, all earthly habits and desires must be abandoned by the second resurrection, brothers and sisters. You might as well start curbing some of them vices now. How you see? Or we headed. All that got to be abandoned. Some of y'all like going to the shake joint. That ain't second resurrection. That ain't a second resurrection hangout. That deal's like, but the revelations of the second resurrection come from the light of my holy counsel, who have abandoned their earthly habits and desires, knowing that the way of rising up everlastingly is by constantly putting away the conditions below. What is deal is ice cold, boy. 15. Your God comes not as an individual, neither do my lords nor holy angels, though they come in my name. I come in legions of thousands and millions, mob deep. You see that? See that? No time. Yo, my spirit guide. You talking about one person. Boy. No. Look at this. Look at this. Nor does the inspiration from my kingdom vary one fraction from what it has ever been. Nor does the inspiration from my kingdom vary one fraction from what it has ever been, except in greater fullness according to the increase of capacity in mortals to receive knowledge. The spirit of my heavens pervades my words. Through my holy angels, I have spoken to you from your youth up, and in my revelations, you perceive the touch of my hand. I cry out order, purity, discipline, justice, and good works, or retribution. Oh man, beware of angels who say in heaven there is no organization, no God, no holy counsel, no discipline, no order, no teaching, no self-denial, or who say there is no creator. Beware angels like this, man. Telling you ain't no structure, no discipline, no organization. There's no creator, nor God of his, nor any government in heaven, or who say there is no bondage after death, no place or condition of suffering, or who say when you die, your spirit shall enter paradise and dwell in perpetual ease and glory. Watch that too. Or who say heaven is an endless summer land with silvery rivers and golden boats for all. Or who say eat, drink, and enjoy yourself for the gratification of your earthly passions. For when you are dead, your path shall be straight to glory. Or who say heap up riches, get money, heap up riches, for there is no punishment after death. Or who say, do not turn your thoughts into your own soul to discover your ungodliness. For when you are dead, your spirit shall revel in bliss. Or who say, the angel world is a place of progression without self-abnegation and good works. Don't listen to none of this. All these messages are coming through in spirit, right? Or who says, behold me, I am from the highest, most exalted sphere, or from a far-off star. Or who say I have visited the planets. Or who says resurrection comes by reincarnation. First a stone, then lead, then silver, then gold, then a tree, then a worm, then an animal, and then man. Or that a spirit re-enters the womb and is born again in mortality. Or who says you are blessed for a host of ancient spirits attend you. You have a great mission. For all of these, this is why you say don't listen to none of this. Why, Malachi? Look at this. Look at this. For all of these are the utterances of the angels of the first resurrection. Oh, wait, who got a battery in your bag? Because now you can understand and distinguish between the angels of the first resurrection, inorganic first resurrection, and the second resurrection. Now you know. It's not, you understand? Now you know. Well, who is you? What you want? What message you got for me? You see? Now you know the characteristics between the first and second resurrection and the inspiration that comes from them, and how to deal with these spirits when they manifest to you or tempt you to do something that you know ain't right. Understand? Now you know. For all of these are the utterances of the angels of the first resurrection. And though they may inspire great oratory and learned discourses, yet they are flatterers. And will surely, brothers and sisters, and will surely lead you into greed. Wait, EGG still cooking. If you got some understanding today, y'all drop some voices in the chat with little brother, man. Malaki Macabee, Megaton, Light Bomb. We'll be right back on in a couple more hours. Right back on again. You know how it is with us, man. We were just learning this last week. All praise. All praise. I mean, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I'm gonna love, light, and all that good stuff in between. Praise truly marvelous. After everybody in the chat we'll be back on around anything. About another 4 or 5 hours. We right back up. Let's get it. Number love, light, and all that good stuff, man. May the credit continue to guide us. I'm gonna end this with a prayer. Absolutely. End this with a prayer. Easy money. Easy money. There we go. The Creator's Prayer out of OSP, as spoke by our dear brother Joshua. Ooh-wee. Let's get this. Shout out to my brother Brian. What the word, Brian? Man, Brian, man. I don't know, Bronze, man. Going off, man. Going off, brother. All right. Now, I'm not sure about this right here. This is leading into the Creator's prayer. This is Yahshua the Essene, the Nazarene, has spoken in O-Aspe. He says, remember that all things are of Jehovah the Creator, and you are his servants to help one another. And as much as you do these services to one another, so do you serve the Creator. You see that? You serve the Creator by doing the righteous works to one another. That's simple. Behold only, trip off of, look at, behold only the virtues and wisdom in your neighbor. His faults you shall not discover. See, so look, somebody already know if they going off or they doing wrong, or may not, fill up to the measure. He don't need you to come behind him and constantly point out what he's doing wrong. It say, behold only the virtues and wisdom in your neighbor. His faults you shall not discover. His matters are with his Creator. His matters are with his Creator. Do not call on the name of any God or Lord in worship. Do not call on the name of any God or Lord in worship, but worship Creator only. Same thing he said in Matthew 4. Him only shall you serve, right? The Father, right? And when you pray, let it be in this manner. Jehovah who rules in heaven and earth. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Jehovah who rules. Dang, why the same? What's going on? All right, Jehovah who rules in heaven and earth. Hallowed be your name and reverend among men. Sufficient for me is my daily bread. And as much as I forgive those who trespass against me, so forgive me and make me steadfast to shun temptation. For all honor and glory are yours, worlds without end. To visit the sick in distress, the helpless and blind, and to relieve them. To provide for the widow and orphan, and keep yourself unspotted before men. These are the way of redemption. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. You feel me? So yeah, I want to end that with a prayer. You dig? Number love and light to the family. You dig? We'll be back on in about 4 more hours. Right back at it. And like I said, CGG, man, still good. Shout out to the credit gang. Shout out to the brothers and sisters. Group of 4 horsemen, my brothers, Eli, Earl, Cal. You know what I mean? Shout out to my young brother Prince Cosmon in the building. My brother. Young brother out here bombing. I heard collecting hats. Shout out to my brother Cosmon Carol out here taking heads. Wait. Easy money, y'all. Yeah, man. The gang will be back up in about another 4 hours or so. We right back at it. All day, just spit. All praise, glory, and honor to the Creator to make us sons, moons, and stars. We're out of here, y'all. Y'all go over to Cosmon Cal TV, like, subscribe, and share. Y'all like, subscribe, and share. Shout out to my brother Prince Judah Vaughn Jackson, his channel on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to my brother Abdi Abdiel. Credit gang in the building. Love, light, and all that good stuff in between. You already know. All right, till the next time, family. Be about this deal, man. CGG, creative gang, or don't bang. Oh, dang, son. Good in, my friends. Blood, light, and all that good stuff in between. You feel me? Creative is truly mob.